So welcome to Lab 10. We're going to be working with the VNet standard switches, or also known as a vSS. So some preliminaries. Let's double check all of our machines. Our VC should have 2 processors, 8 gigs of RAM. Our DC should have 4 gigs of RAM, 2 processors. Both ESXi hosts, 2 processors and 8 gigs of RAM. And as long as that is the case, we are good to go with that. So as long as that part is verified, let's go on to step B. We're going to be manipulating and changing some of our virtual switches. So go ahead and get logged in. Remember that this is the one that we set a different password for, and make sure to spell vSphere correctly. Common issue that I found with this lab and students is either they've misspelled vSphere or they've typed in the wrong password. So do make sure that you're using the correct password and the appropriate spelling. All right, so license servers are expiring. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to install some licenses. This is not going to be recorded just because of the licenses that I have. But for licensing, administration, licenses, and this is where you'd be adding all of your licenses. Okay, so my licenses have been applied. So everything is showing licenses now. vCenter is showing license and my hosts are showing license. So let's go ahead and move on to the rest of the lab. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our hosts and clusters. We're going to be doing ESXi 1. Let's go ahead and navigate to Manage and Network. Make sure to click on Virtual Switch 2, and this is what we should be looking at. All right, so once we've done that, we're going to edit the entire virtual switch. Let's go up here to our physical adapters. We're going to be clicking on VNet 3, and we're going to be removing it. Basically, what that allows is for us to reclaim that VNIC so that we can use it elsewhere, because we had 6 NICs on our hosts, but we've already used all of them. So if we don't delete them from one virtual switch, we won't have it to be able to use later. So let's go ahead and click OK to this. It's going to let you know that you're going to lose connectivity. That's okay. Next, let's go ahead and delete this virtual switch altogether. So up here, red X, click on the remove option. And let's go ahead and click on yes. So we just deleted a virtual switch. So the important part here is to recognize that we can do it, and this is on a per host instance, because again, we're not centralizing our switches. We're not using distributed switches. So that's really the point of this lab. So let's go ahead and generate a new switch. So we're going to click on the add new virtual switch. We are going to do a VM network adapter. So essentially, we're just regenerating a new switch. We're going to be creating a new switch. We're going to be adding our VNet 3. If we did not do part B, this would not be here. Click Next. Here's our naming portion. Let's go ahead and enter the test dev label. And we're going to go and click Next. Go ahead and click on Next. Don't worry about giving it an IP address. Review the settings and finish. That should actually populate a new switch, virtual switch 2, which we now have our test group in. All right, so let's go and let's play with this a little bit. Let's go ahead and network adapter, remove it. Notice it loses its physical adapter. It will still communicate internally, but not externally. Let's go ahead and add it back. If we do not have any unclaimed adapters, we can't do that. So just keep that in mind. One last little bit, let's click on Edit. Let's go through, make sure we understand what each of these are. This is where we set the MTU size, where we can set our port security, security, our traffic shaping, and our teaming if we want to do teaming. So again, click on the switch and edit. If you want to edit into these individual items, if you click on them, we get the edit option down here. So do keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and we are going to be adding some more material. Again, a VMware kernel network adapter. We're going to be using the pre-existing virtual switch 2. We're going to set this to fault tolerance with logging. We're going to be using a specific IP address, 21, with a subnet of and if we give it a second, you'll notice now this virtual switch can do 2 different tasks. But you'll also notice the network that this one's on. So we can actually adjust this network, but it actually is picking up its IP address from this physical adapter. Happens to be that 2.192.168.2.x is getting a DHCP from this physical adapter, so we really can't do anything about that. Because this physical adapter can process both data traffic and fault tolerance traffic, we may actually want to have this as a 10 gig connection or stronger. All right, so what we did was we did this lab as a virtual switch on a 1 ESXi host. Well, could we duplicate this easily on other machines? Sure, we could do that via distributed switches. We have a NetLab lab that focuses on that. So we're not doing that as a physical lab because we're doing that inside NetLab. That's actually the end of this lab. Thank you.